Hey book team, it's Amelia, and today I'm going to be reviewing A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. So I wasn't entirely sure how to summarize the plot without really giving away spoilers, so I'm just going to read what the back of the book says. The monster showed up after midnight, as they do, but it isn't the monster Connor's been expecting, the one from the nightmare he's had nearly every night since his mother started her treatments, the one with the darkness and the wind and the screaming. This monster is something different, something ancient, something wild, and it wants the truth. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Interesting thing about this book, Patrick Ness actually did not originally come up with the idea. The originator of the idea is Siobhan Dowd, who unfortunately passed away before she can complete the book. In lieu of her death, Patrick Ness was approached to finish the novel, but instead of basically taking her words and trying to mimic her style, he got inspiration from her idea and developed his own story. There is so much that I want to say about this book, but I'm scared that I'm going to spoil it for you all, so I'm just going to go right into the buzzwords. First buzzword is short, easy read. If you find yourself sitting around with a couple of hours to spare, I highly suggest picking up this book. It is very short, very quick, very easy to read. However, you might want to make sure you have plenty of hours because afterwards you might need a few of them to compose yourself from all the emotions. Which brings me to my next round of buzzwords, which is all the feels. Oh my gosh, you guys, this book made me feel all the things, I'm tearing up even just thinking about it. When I finished this book, I was sobbing, absolutely in tears, just running everywhere, and I just could not control myself. You just get so connected to the story so quickly, and it's absolutely heartbreakingly beautiful. And speaking of beautiful, the illustrations by Jim Kay are absolutely phenomenal. I know there's a version of this book floating around that doesn't have the illustrations. Do yourself a favor and pick up the version that does, because the illustrations add so much to the book. I mean, guys, just look at this. Look at that. I mean, how can you not just be completely absorbed by all the prettiness and darkness and just greatness happening in this book? Just like I flipped to a random page and it's just gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Fourth round of buzzwords is stories within stories. I'm trying not to give away too much, but there are many stories within the overall story that thread together. There's nothing more satisfying than reading a story where all the threads just slowly come together and combine into this beautiful ribbon of literary amazingness. And my final buzzwords are human nature. I feel as if this book presents a very unique presentation of the human psyche. There are small discussions about what makes a person good, what makes a person bad. Does a bad person deserve this or a good person deserve that? It also touches on emotional reactions that humans have that sometimes to us may seem unnatural, but is actually very, very natural to have. Generally, this book was a 5-star book for me. I was not expecting it to be a 5-star book because I saw the ending basically a mile away. I love the writing style. I connected very strongly with the characters. The illustrations added so much to the experience, and it just looped me in and never let me go. Considering I'm still contemplating all the themes and aspects of this book days after I finished it, shows to me that this truly is a 5-star rating book, and I recommend it to everyone. Absolutely everyone. I can't even think of a single person who could possibly dislike this book. That being said though, if you do read it and you do dislike it, then you should tell me because I would love to discuss the aspects of the book that you didn't like. And now it's time to note that I loved Patrick Ness's writing style so much that I've already picked up his newest release. Woohoo! Anyway, thus ends the spoiler-free section of my review. If you have not read the book yet and do not want to be spoiled, then please click away because I don't want to spoil you. Spoiler talk in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. one. So the first thing that I want to get out there, hands down, is Connor's truth. Connor admitting to the fact that he'd prefer his mom to die rather than watching her suffer longer and longer and longer absolutely destroyed me. I mean, I honestly can't think of something more human than seeing someone you care about suffer and wanting it to end, even if that means their own death. At least it means they're not suffering anymore. Of course, Connor's a young boy, so he doesn't understand that it's okay to feel that way, which is why I feel this book goes on an even deeper level than just grief and acceptance, because it goes into an area that isn't really talked about much. I feel like this novel really addresses the guilt people sometimes feel when they're losing someone. Now, disclaimer, I'm not a psychologist. These are just my theories that have been marinating in my head for the past couple of days. But I definitely think when you are about to lose someone and you are trying to accept that there is a guilt there because you are basically outliving them. They are leaving life, you are staying. And yes, what really gets to people is that they're not going to have the other person in their life anymore. But on top of that, I think there's a kind of mini survivor's remorse that happens during the grieving period. And I think showing that remorse through the eyes of a young boy is what Patrick Ness did beautifully in this story. I don't even know if I'm making sense anymore. Please tell me if I'm making sense, because I hope I am. I just have a lot of thoughts and feelings about this book, and this is why I love this book so much, because it makes me think so much about all these feelings and things. Also, another question I want to ask. So I'm fairly confident that the monster that shows up originally in Connor's nightmares represents death. He is the death monster. But my main question is, who/what is the monster that visits Connor? This question has been driving me insane. You could easily say the monster is God or Mother Nature or some kind of higher being. But I feel like that answer is just a little too easy. And I mean, hey, that might be the case. And honestly, my initial reaction was that it was Mother Earth or something along that line. But then when the monster started telling his stories, I started drifting away from that idea. I was talking a little bit about it with my friend Books and Bubbles from Instagram. Hi! And we were both kind of thinking that the monster was an embodiment of his grief and despair. But the reason why I can't fully accept that answer is because of the actions that the monster does in the stories. However, my friend also pointed out that I might be taking it all a little too literally, and that the stories may just be emerging from Connor's subconscious memory in order to help him cope, which would make the monster a coping mechanism, which I definitely agree with if I'm not taking the stories so literally. So now I'm directing the question to you. What do you think the monster represents in this story? Do you think he's a god? Do you think he's a spirit? Do you think he's a coping mechanism? Do you think he's just a wizard? God, wouldn't that be funny if he was a wizard? Boom twist, Connor's a wizard and he's going to Hogwarts. Thank God the story didn't end that way. I mean, as great as it would be for him to go to Hogwarts, I feel like that would not be an appropriate ending. That last chapter though with his mother, I'm choking up just thinking about it. That really got to me. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review, and please leave all your thoughts and comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and if you want to be updated on future videos, please hit that fancy dancy subscribe button. Alright guys, until next time, stay warm, stay healthy, and I'll talk to you later. Bye! Now it's time to mention that I love Patrick Ness's writing so style.